In an industry stuffed with marketing bullshit, empty promises, and shiny-suited liars, one woman's had enough. She knows what it's like to have the wrong clients, no money, and no time for fun. But she also knows how to fix it. And on the Business for Superheroes show, she promises to tell the down and dirty truth about business, sales, and running away with the circus. Here's your host, Vicky Fraser.
Hello and welcome to the Business for Superheroes show. I'm Vicky Fraser and this is my husband Joe.
Hello.
Hello. And we're back in the UK.
The cold UK.
It is suddenly cold this week. Ugh. This is a very British start to the podcast. We're going to talk about the weather.
Talk about the weather. It's cold.
Yeah. It feels like we've been back forever, but we've been back for
10 days?
10 days, yeah. And I'm off to Lanzarote again. I'm off, well, for the first time. I've never been to Lanzarote. I'm off to Lanzarote on Sunday. To write my
I'm just going to sleep next to the Rayburn.
Fair enough. So, Joe, what are we drinking this week?
We are drinking rhubarb gin from the Bath Distillery. Sadly, we have no tonic whatsoever, so we're just drinking it neat.
Like, I don't know, like...
Hoo-yah. That'll do it.
Yeah, that's quite feisty. It's nice, tasty.
So there might be more of it in that glass than I want to drink and eat, though.
Quite a lot of gin in that glass. So yeah, rhubarb gin from the Bath Distillery. I can feel it's all hot running down my
I feel like
chest.
it's more of an ingredient than a lone drink.
It's warming, that's for sure. So, Joe, this week we are back on the 7 quarks of successful business owners. Mm-hmm. And we are on quark number 5.
Which should be called charm or something, shouldn't it? Isn't there like up, down, left, right, spin?
Charm and weirdo. Sideways.
Sideways?
I think I'm also getting mixed up with Terry Pratchett's Discworld Particles of Magic, because I think he wrote a Discworld book just after they discovered all of the quarks and create. Anyway, we digress. I digress.
We haven't even started and we're digressing.
I know, that's quite the
7 quirks.
Oh, but before that we should have an update, a dingle update. So we haven't done a dingle update for ages. We've got a dingle date. We've got the stairs. The stairs are oiled and they're beautiful.
They're lovely.
Oh, they are so nice. It feels like we've done a thing.
Makes a total difference to the house, doesn't it? Because you can now just walk to the top floor.
Yeah, not that there's anything up there yet, but eventually, well, soon, hopefully.
Soon.
We're waiting for bloody lights to turn up. Do you think we've just given somebody money and they've run off with it?
I think we've just given somebody on the internet a bunch of cash, and that's that.
That's...
That would be upsetting.
Yeah, it would be upsetting because it wasn't cheap.
No.
Okay, well, let's look into that. But also, I got a text from... I was away all weekend at the pole studio doing my pole qualification. I'm now a qualified pole instructor. And so I'm knackered because I've basically not had a weekend off. It was 16 hours over a weekend. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't just kind of mental work and like an exam, a practical exam and a written exam. It was also really physical as well. So I hurt and I'm knackered. But I got a text from Joe on Sunday that just said, "Your sheep are bad sheep."
They are bad sheep.
And would you like to tell the listeners what they did?
So on Saturday, they just disappeared for a while, and I ended up running around with a head torch on in the dark, hoping I could find the sheep before Vicky came home and blamed me for losing her sheep.
Which I totally would have done.
Which she totally would have done.
Reasonably so.
Well, not really.
Yes.
Pesky sheep. Anyway, and on Sunday they disappeared. You'd have thought I'd have learned at this point, but they just
vanished.
You know, I'd let them out of their little pen so that they could mow the lawn for us, and they just buggered off somewhere. You know, we got a couple of acres, we got some woodland, we got lots of hedges and lots of kind of sneaky places where they could hide. So I'm looking for the sheep. Thinking, this is.
And if you're thinking ideal. They can't be that difficult to spot, bear in mind these are tiny sheep that are knee high.
These are small sheep.
Yeah.
So I'm looking around, and eventually there's a knock on the door, the front door. I get back into the house thinking, good Lord, what am I going to do now? Having not found them, and there's a knock on the door, and it's our neighbour who lives next door, maybe
not Barbara,
other side. And he says, "Have you got 3 sheep?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, 2 black ones and a white one. I said, "Yes." And he said, yes, they're in my garden. I was like, oh dear, sorry about that. I'll come and get my sheep. And yeah, it turns out that there's a gap in the hedge, in the fence, and they can just go next door.
Which, it's not like we've got a shortage of delicious, lush grass, so of course they leave and go somewhere else.
They have to go next door.
Yeah, anyway. So that's the Dingle latest.
So fencing. We need fencing. More fencing.
Yeah, we need to,
We need a lot more fencing.
Anyway, so, and the reason we tell you these stories is because, dear listener, it helps me to bind my weirdos closer to me. That sounds really creepy.
Yeah, it did sound pretty creepy.
It sounded super creepy.
Oh my God, is anybody watching the...
No, we're not going on another digression. No, we'll talk about that next week because we'll have maybe finished the series next week. Anyway, so yes, this is all about... This week we're all about finding and protecting your weirdos.
Right.
Building a fort where you can invite them in, pull the blankets across the door and be like, this is where we can be weird together.
Right.
Is it still sounding creepy?
It's still sounding pretty creepy.
Well...
First of all, you were binding them and then you were hiding them in blankets.
No, building a fort.
It doesn't sound good.
Well, it is good. Forts are great.
Sounds like you're about to stick them in the boot of the car and take them to the tip.
No, it does not. It sounds like I'm going to build a fort and offer them cheese and gin. Who's up for cheese and gin in a blanket fort? Who's going to say no to that? Anyway, so the point is that you want to find your weirdos, first of all, people who are just like you, and then you want to create a place where you can all be weird together without worrying about what other people think, and where you can build that relationship and encourage them to buy things from you. So, today, this is Joe's looking at me like he's thinking of calling the emergency services. Okay, so this is the biggest business owners and businesses in the world do this, by the way. I'm not saying that they build blanket forts and force people to drink gin in them. But they create clubs. So like Dan Kennedy has the Glazer Kennedy Insider Circle, GKIC, which is a multi-million-dollar kind of massive organization. There are thousands and thousands of people. Brian Kurtz has the Titans of Direct Response. And again, that's a pretty big thing that is a big thing. I've got my superheroes. Do you notice how I put myself in
amongst that crowd?
In amongst that crowd then, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Smooth positioning.
I know. Well, I did render Dan Kennedy speechless once, so I've never met Brian Kurtz, but I feel sure that he would like me. I've got my superheroes, and as for the bigger companies do this as well, and everybody is familiar with it, whether they know they are or not, because you've got Sainsbury's Nectar scheme. It's not Sainsbury's anymore, but that started off as their loyalty scheme, didn't it? You've got Morrison's More. You've got the Co-op membership card. You've got the My Waitrose, where they give you a free coffee every time. If you've got a Waitrose card, you get a free coffee off them. So, this is not a radical thing, is it?
Okay, so do you think your superheroes is the same kind of thing as a Nectar card?
Well, it's not wildly different. It's on a much smaller scale because Nectar, Sainsbury's, Waitrose couldn't do what I do because it would be far too labour intensive for them. So, but they've still created this community of people. And the Co-op do this particularly well, actually. The Co-op do it with their membership card, and you can decide whether or not a percentage of your reward points goes towards a local charity. And we have a percentage of our reward points goes towards local charities, and it's a really nice thing to do. So it's like a community thing as well. So it doesn't just build loyalty with the Co-op and kind of put money in your bank for, we save our points up for Christmas, go and buy booze at Christmas kind of thing. So yeah, it's the same thing. It's just on a different scale.
Okay.
Yeah. So and this week's podcast is really all about how to kind of create a club. Why are you frowning?
I'm frowning because I've got deep suspicions about the Nectar schemes and the More cards and those things.
Well, obviously they're doing it so that they can, gather your data and find out more about you. Why do you think that any business is doing that? I want to know as much as possible. And that's sensible. I want to know as much as possible about my customers and prospective customers, because the more I know about them, the better I can serve them. And so it's a two-way thing. Oh,
that's worth saying then. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's like, of course Waitrose wants people to do all of their shopping at Waitrose. Of course they do. And the loyalty card is a way for them to do that. But it's also a way for them to serve their customers better. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, okay.
Nothing at all. And, you don't have to be a member of these schemes if you don't want to be. You're missing out on stuff, and they make it very clear that there are benefits to, to being in these groups.
Not all the benefits are yours.
No, of course they're not. And why should they be? Why should all the benefits be mine as a customer? It's like it's a two-way thing.
Okay.
So, so how do you go about finding and protecting your weirdos? Well, we're just going to run through a few things that you can do. First and foremost, be splendid. Be splendid at everything you do, deliver a brilliant service, go above and beyond, and surprise and delight your customers and prospects. Don't just deliver what they're expecting. Have you had outstanding service from anybody recently, Joe?
Ooh, crikey. No.
No. Oh, that's sad.
I don't think so.
Has nobody made you go, oh, that's really lovely. I'm gonna do business with you again?
No, not particularly.
Oh, what a shame. So,
Didn't even get recognised in the local sandwich shop.
You did get recognised. She thought that you didn't recognise her. That was really funny. So yeah, I mean, just asking Joe, is there anything that has surprised or delighted you when you've recently been shopping and you've said no? That shows you what a massive opportunity there is out there to do better than most people. Because it's like I guess most businesses haven't pissed you off or anything. It's just that nobody's done anything, stand out wonderful.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like it's not enough just to not piss people off. You want to do something that makes me think I'm never going to go anywhere else for this thing. And
True that.
And I have a couple of people that I shop with. So one of my superheroes, Jane, sells. She does. She's a beautician. She's the organic beautician, but she also sells Dr. Hauschka stuff. And so I get all of my, moisturizers and potions and things from her now because she doesn't just send what I buy in a box. She packages it beautifully in tissue paper and with little scented rose petals and things like that. But she also sends a little selection of samples that she thinks I'll like, which is lovely for me and also good for her because, if I like any of them, I'm going to buy them. And I've already decided I'm going to have one of the eye creams that she sent. And she always puts in, and I love this, she always puts in a little organic fruit or herbal tea bag.
Okay.
And I really like that because I kind of look forward to it now because I tend to just drink peppermint tea. But when she sends something interesting, like I think it was ginger and lemongrass, the one that I had today, and it's absolutely delicious. And so I'm like, oh, it's a nice change from, it's a nice thing to look forward to. It's a tiny thing. It costs her fractions of a penny, but it makes quite a big difference to my experience.
Nice.
So if you need beautiful vegan cruelty-free skincare, go and have a look at Jane's Organic Beautician stuff because her stuff is beautiful. And the packages, when they arrive, are like a little birthday present. It's really cool. Okay, so yeah, just go above and beyond. Okay, so more ways to build a crowd of weirdos and strengthen your relationships. Events. Events are fantastic. And I'm talking about paid for events like workshops and trainings, but also free events that you can come up with. So, more than one of my superheroes has come from an event I've run.
Sure.
Either a free one or a paid for one. Quite often people will pay to come to an event and then they'll be like, oh, I really want to be part of your superheroes, because usually there are superheroes there as well, and they'll talk to each other and it's like, oh, I want to be part of that. And so that's a really powerful way to get people to join your group. And often they become your biggest advocates as well. So hi, Louise. Also people have joined from events that I've hosted or, participated in or presented at, so if you present at other people's events, you can't beat face to face. No, you really can't. No.
But I don't think that's just about being at events and doing a good job. I think that's also exposing who you are to people.
Yes,
I think it's important to be you.
We're getting creepy again. Exposure.
Yeah, okay, not that kind of exposure.
Not flashing people.
But it's important that they actually get to experience who you are rather than some corporate face that you put on.
Yes, exactly. And I tell you what, when you are hosting an event, it's because this is what Misty and I were doing in San Diego just a couple of weeks ago, putting on that event. And
hosting an event in San Diego, don't you know?
Didn't you know? Yeah. But that was, we were living together for a weekend, and you get to see all sides of people when, they got to see us a little bit stressed. They got to, we were always on our best behavior because we wanted people to have an amazing experience, and they did. but they're going to see more of you than you would normally allow somebody to see because you're living together. And that kind of relationship, you can't shortcut that. You can't fake that.
Yeah.
And you can't buy it. And, you know, it's just, you know, the people who come to these events we're going to be in touch for life. You know, you are, because that's the nature of it. But it doesn't have to be paid for stuff. So, you know, I will have far too infrequent curries with my superheroes, and, you know, everybody just gets together and it's just an informal, you know, we'll go for a curry. Yeah. And coffee mornings, you know, depending on what type of business you run. I know that Dom always suggests that his dog walker people are like, you know, well, get all the people who own dogs together every month or so, and you can all go walking together, and that's a really good way to bring new people in.
Literally building a pack.
Literally building a pack, yeah. And, you know, the doggy friends who are your customers will tell their doggy friends who are not yet your customers, and they'll all come, and then they'll meet you, and then, you know, it doesn't cost you anything because you're going to be walking dogs anyway. And, you know, if you're...
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. You know, if you're a bookshop, you could run like poetry readings, or you could run little creative writing workshops for kids, or, you know, just, again, coffee mornings, book clubs.
Yeah. Today is Free Mince Pie Day. Come in.
Yeah, come in, have a mince pie. We'll talk about the latest book, you know, that host talks. You can host talks, you can host a talk, get another expert in your industry in, launch a book if you're writing a book, which you absolutely should be doing if you run a business. Launch a book and have a free launch party for people, online and offline.
It's all about getting the people in the room, isn't it? And talking to them and being yourself.
Yeah, but on your terms. Because, I mean, a few people listening will be like, oh, I could just go to networking groups. Most networking groups are rubbish. You know what? There is a reason why you never see the top tier of business owners in organised networking groups, because they are, and this is going to sound awful, but they are not mixing with people who are going to lift them up. They're mixing with people who are average. And that sounds like a really mean thing to say, but it's true. You know, it's where that kind of people will go to those things, and they are business owners who tend to be struggling. And being in that environment is not going to lift you up. It can be very supportive, and it can be very, you know, it can be very good for getting to know people, but it's
feel like you're doing good things.
Yeah. And
meet some nice people.
And I'm not knocking it, because a lot of people get a lot of good stuff from it, but it's not going to lift you up. And also, you're not in control of it. If you run your own events, you are in control of it. You can dictate what you want people to get out of it, what you want to get out of it.
The timetable, the pace, the style, everything.
Yeah.
Somebody else's network meeting, you're just one in a crowd.
It has merit. I'm not knocking it at all. But you want to be doing your own thing as well. You know, you want to be doing your own thing. So yeah, if you're going to host an event, you want to make sure that you've got something to sell from it as well.
Do you remember your first event?
I do remember my first.
So how scary was that?
It was horrifying. It was terrifying. Hated it. How long was I stressed? I was stressed for at least a week beforehand.
Yeah.
And
how did it go?
It was so good. It was not perfect by any means, and, you know, there was a lot of things that I would do differently, but everybody who came had a great time, and I got a couple of long-term clients out of it, and yeah, you know, a couple of superheroes. It was fantastic, and I had a lot of help from you. You're always supportive. But
I think there's going to be people listening who are just like, I don't know what event I would run. I don't know why I would run an event. The whole thing is terrifying. I'm not going to run an event. And Vicky's just, I don't know, snorted some gin.
Is that...
Going to come out your nose? No. What have you done?
Anyway, but yeah, if you're wondering what kind of an event you can run, you know, if it's really that scary, partner with somebody else. Find somebody else in your industry who is either more comfortable with it and ask if you can co-host an event, or somebody who's as terrified as you and get together and do it. That's a good idea. Because it is terrifying. I'm not going to lie to you. It's terrifying. It's hard work. It's stressful, and you will love it. You will love it. I'm an introvert. I find people very tiring, and I love running events. I don't want to talk to anyone for a week afterwards, but I love running events. They are so much fun. Incredibly rewarding. And yeah, like I say, you're going to build relationships that will last for years. You really will. And the second one was easier than the first. Yeah, and the third one was easier than the second, and so on. So you just got to get over that scary first one. Yeah. Yeah, then you got to silence that inner dickhead that's going to tell you that you're not good enough, or you don't know enough, or, you know, all of that nobody will come bullshit. Yeah, and I tell you what, if you're worried that nobody will come, don't be, because you can fill that room with people, with your friends. Because even if one person pays to come, and the rest of the people in the room are your friends, that one person is going to get an amazing experience because they're going to get all of your attention, and you're going to be in a friendly place with people who want you to succeed. And it's, there is nothing wrong with that. I know, there are famous business owners who have said, my first event, I had 2 people there, and the rest of them were people that are, friends or family. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You're not doing anyone a disservice if you do that. You don't have to fill a room with paying customers. The point is to do one, see how it goes, and then do another one.
Get better.
Yeah.
Be brave. Crack on.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, make sure that you've got something to sell from it as well, because if people love your event, they'll want more from you. And that's where that kind of building this weirdo tribe is all about. So other ways that you can kind of build this fence around your weirdos, you can have a loyalty scheme. There is a new local bookshop in Leominster that has a loyalty card, which delights me. When I get 10 stamps, I get to choose a book.
Nice.
Of course I'm going to go shopping there. Bravissimo Bras does a similar thing. Whenever I buy a new bra, if you spend a certain amount, you'll get stamps on your loyalty card. And when I get 10, I get a free bra, which is really cool because bras are really expensive. Starbucks does a loyalty scheme.
Sure.
Costa, most coffee shops do, don't they?
Most coffee shops do, yeah.
Just really simple stuff. You don't have to give a discount. You just have to, you can give something away instead, which is much more valuable. And
that's it. I mean, quite often, I've certainly had in the past, going back to your early question, I've had a service on a car, and they've said something right at the end. They've said something like, "Oh, when you had a light bulb out over your number plate and your windscreen wipers were a bit tired, so I changed them."
Nice.
And you kind of go, "Oh, thank you very much."
Yeah.
And it's not on the bill. It's just because they've gone a little bit further than they needed to. Yeah,
because it cost them pennies. Windscreen wiper blades cost them pennies. And bulbs cost them pennies. It's just a nice thing to do.
5 minutes to fit them. Why not?
Exactly. I was thinking I was doing something the other day and somebody gave me a free thing. And it was lovely. I can't remember what it was. That's awful.
It's a good story.
It's good. Oh, I was in Tesco's in Hereford because we walked up and I was going to get a coffee, and I got a coffee for my friend Beth. Hi, Beth.
Hi, Beth.
And then halfway through my coffee, the Costa machine gave up, and I was like, "Oh, that's so disappointing." And I kind of took it up, and I was like, "I think you need to, change your milk or whatever." And they were like, "Oh, do you want another one?" I was like, "No, it's all right. I've changed my mind because I've already had a coffee. I shouldn't really have to." And then they were like, "No, have another one. Have a free one on us." And they didn't have to do that, and it was just, it was just nice because it doesn't cost them anything, but it's a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
So that was cool. So what else can you do? You can give recognition to people, make customers and clients feel special.
You can assist them. You can network with them. You can bring them business when you hear of somebody who needs something like what they provide.
Yes.
You can connect people together.
So yeah,
businesses really love that.
They love that. So whenever I get a copywriting inquiry, because I'm not really doing that kind of copywriting anymore, I will pass that on to one of my superheroes, because there's several of my superheroes are copywriters. And so I'll be like, "Okay, who's going to be best for this person?" And I'll be like, "Oh, that'll be Tanya, or that'll be Mike, or that'll be Jenny." And I'll pass it on to them. So, people get more out of your membership than they're paying for,
yes.
Because that kind of referral is really valuable. Whenever somebody's having a book done, it's like, "Oh, you need a book cover? Julia's going to do that."
Yeah.
Because she's wonderful. Like, "Oh, you need a cartoon? Rob's going to do that." Because he's great at it. So this kind of building this tribe of people, it gives you a referral network. And it's really great. And also, you can feature your best clients in your newsletters, in your emails, in your
daily emails. Yeah, just shout out to people who are doing good things.
Yeah, I'm about to start interviewing my superheroes on my podcast and doing video interviews with them. I'm going to be asking them all about who they are, what they do, what they're working on, and why they join my superheroes and what they've got out of it, because that's going to be great for them. It's going to be great for me, and then we're both going to have something to plug. It's going to be really good. People love to talk about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Give them a chance to do it. Give them a chance to talk about their wins and about the challenges that they've overcome, because it will help other people as well. Which brings me on to keep in constant contact with people. Always be in touch, reminding people of the value you bring and how they can get the most out of what you offer. Continually. The absolute best way to do that, well, I do that in several ways. I do it with this podcast, which is for clients and potential clients and people who are never going to be clients. I do it with my book club. My book club is free for people to join, but some people are clients, some are not. I do it with my daily emails, and I used to do it with my printed newsletter, which I stopped doing, which I'm going to start doing when my new book comes out in January.
Okay.
So yeah, but the best way I think to do that is to create a print newsletter.
Okay.
It's super simple. And if you want to find out more about how to do a print newsletter, you're going to have to come back in a week or so, and we will tell you all about it. Because we've run out of time, because we're 25 minutes in.
25 minutes.
Yeah. So, print newsletters. Come back for that. That will be Quark 5B. This is Quark 5A. And
really? You're splitting quarks now?
Splitting quarks, yes.
I'm not sure that works.
Well, it's against the laws of physics, I think. Can it change the laws of physics, Captain? Nerd alert.
No.
Okay, so coming up next week. Actually, next week, I'm in Lanzarote with my two very good friends, and we're on a book writing retreat. So I think I might do...
When you say book writing retreat, I mean, you've just booked yourself a holiday and you're taking your laptop to write a book.
No, we've got a structure. We're structuring
You've got a structure?
it. Yeah.
You got a plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, I thought you were just heading out there and writing a book.
No, this is a specific book writing retreat. I'm taking Kenda and Jen. Hi, guys.
Hello.
I'm really excited about it. Kenda's needs to finish her business book. I need to write my business book, and Jen is writing fiction, which is going to be very exciting. But this is actually my first... I guess a little taster session for the retreats that I want to run in the future. So, but book writing retreat. This is absolutely, it's going to be structured. We're going to be doing stuff. We're going to be reporting what we've done at the end of each day. This is, if Kenda and Jen are listening to this, they come as a surprise to them. I'm like, I've got it all mapped out, guys. But yeah, I want to make damn sure that I get value out of this.
Okay. Because
it's really important. It's not a holiday. I mean, it's a break away from every day, but it's not a holiday. So that's what I think. The three of us will do a live-ish podcast.
Do a live podcast.
Next week. A bit like we did in San Francisco. San Diego. Didn't go to San Francisco. San Diego. So we'll be doing that. But after that, Joe and I will be back.
With 5B.
With 5B. Newsletters. In the meantime, you can join Bookaholics Anonymous by going to vickyfraser.com/book club.
Doesn't cost anything. Makes you read useful, interesting books.
Yes. And it makes you put it into action as well. So we talk about how we're actually going to use it. At the moment, we're reading a really great book called We Do Things Differently. Isn't it great?
Yes, I've read that one.
Joe took it off me and started reading it.
Yep, very good.
So I've got catching up to do. If you liked this podcast, please go to iTunes and subscribe and give us a 5-star rating and leave us a review. We love reviews.
We do.
And if you've listened to all of the podcasts, drop me an email with your postal address, because I've got a little gift that I want to send you.
Gotta be honest, though.
Yeah, be honest. I'm going to know. I know everything. Or, if you don't want to rate us and review us, then frankly, I think you should. But if you don't want to, then please share it. If you know somebody who will enjoy this rambling nonsense, send them to vickyfraser.com/podcast. And on that note, I think we're done. If you've got... Oh, takeaway. What's the takeaway, Joe?
What's the takeaway? Start a club. Make some friends. Meet people face to face. Print a newsletter. Show people you're crazy. And...
don't rush them.
Form a tribe. Don't gaffer tape them to anything. But, form a group of people who enjoy what you do.
Yeah. And if you have any questions, as always, if you have any questions about anything we've talked about in this or any other podcast, please email me, vicky@vickyfraser.com, and we will answer them.
Nice.
Yeah, and we'll be back same time next week. Thanks very much, Joe.
No worries.
Take care, guys, and if you can't take care, then...
take precautions.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. Like what you've just heard? Tell your colleagues, tell your friends, send them to www.businessforsuperheroes.com/podcast.